What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Wednesday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault, at Sports Talk Matt. To follow me on Twitter. BetMGM, the title sponsor of this podcast. New users, you guys can grab a $1,000 first bet offer with the promo code JUICE at BetMGM.com for new users. All right, so it's been a kind of a wonky, weird week. Both Monday and Tuesday could have been really good weeks, or days rather, and set us up for the week. But unfortunately, just things didn't go. We had two pushes on Monday, and then the Jets fall apart, and I wasn't even able to hedge. I was pissed off because I was trying to figure out how do I hedge on it, and I should have just taken the Sharks on the money line going into the game, but instead I waited and I wanted to see if the first goal was going to be scored by the Jets, and then we could potentially get even a better price and lay less money down to kind of have that hedge. And then the Sharks scored first, and then the Jets never scored and got shut out 3-0. So I was annoyed by that. I had a couple other things in the Discord channel where we're talking about the over for the Oilers and the Golden Knights. That should have been an official bet. That was an easy play. That game got really crazy, but overall, just a frustrating day because of that parlay. And then, I was dead wrong with St. Louis. Woo boy, that game flew over for St. Louis. So I'll tell you what I'm doing in the NBA. I got both player props right last night, so that gave us a half a unit coming back. So it was down 1.6 units. So we're down about 2.5 units for the week already here on a Wednesday. So that's not really ideal. So we need to have a good day here today to make sure we don't get into too big of a hole heading towards the weekend. But March is so hard. This is the hardest month to win. And a lot of people I've talked to, bookmakers and professional gamblers and whatnot, it's just like the numbers are so sharp. There's so many things to bet on, so it's great. But the numbers are so sharp because we're getting to the end of the NHL season. There's not a lot of soft numbers right now with the NHL. We saw it on Monday. There were 4 pushes of the 6 games on the totals in the NHL. The books have enough data now. They know what they're doing, and we're heading towards the playoffs. So we're getting games like we saw with the Jets last night where, the Sharks they had 6 wins at home going in. Those are 7th win of the year going in. Jets are trying to find a way into the playoffs, and some teams just run out of gas. So it's a tough month. I've had a bad month. I had a great February. I've had a bad March, and I'm looking forward to April. And we'll get into baseball season, and we'll kind of start fresh in a way as we head into the end of what I think is the sports calendar. I think April 1st, I've always said, is the start of the new sports year. And so we're starting fresh, starting new. I often look at my bankroll on April the 1st. I look at my unit size on April the 1st and try to take stock of where I am and what I'm doing. So that's what I'm going to be doing here coming up for the next couple of days. So just understand that I have looked up and down at the big NBA card, and I can't do it. There's nothing there that I want to bet. We'll bet the 2 NBA player props today. I will have that. I've done some research on that. I'll get up in the morning and take a look at a couple of props on it. But like the Lakers at the Bulls, we'll talk about that in a second. Kevin Durant coming back tonight for the Suns. They're laying 6 at the time of taping against Minnesota, who's playing really well. Big game for Minnesota. I just don't know what to do with the NBA. We got basketball coming up later Saturday, so we can get into the Final Four. But I got to check at the count. I think I'm 38-38 in college basketball since I came back, which is just as flat can be. But you're down the juice more. I think we're down 2 units or something in college basketball because of the juice. That's just what happens. You get juiced out when you go 38-38. That's not good enough. So I'm not going to go too crazy this week. I'm going to kind of get ready for Friday, which will be opening day. We'll have a bunch of fun stuff coming up for opening day. But I'm telling you right now for baseball, I'm not going to have big baseball cards, okay? It's going to be a couple of weeks. The first 2 weeks of April, we're going to be 2 or 3 bets a day, okay? And that's just kind of how I'm going to be. And then we'll expand the card as we go, as we get the data. But we won't have anything really to go on till Memorial Day, and then you can really start getting into with 4 or 5 bet type cards. So playoffs for the NHL, playoffs for the NBA. absolutely will take a look at those and really be heavily invested in those games coming up here in the next couple of weeks. But before we get to the picks for today, they're both in hockey, just two of them for you. Coming up in hockey, let's talk about how you guys can win a free year of BettingPros Premium. It's the 1-year upgrade that we're giving you a chance to jump in with if you guys subscribe and like this very podcast, this video on YouTube, and then go ahead and leave a comment underneath me as well. Because when you do that, and coming up here in the next couple of days, I'll make the announcement as to who's going to win for March. So home stretch here. If you're not entered, enter now. You can enter more than once. You could win a free upgrade to BettingPros Premium, whether you're looking for access to exclusive picks, top-rated player props, or custom analysis of your betting performance. BettingPros Premium has the tools to help you cash more bets. Don't want to wait for the giveaway. You can sign up today directly at bettingpros.com/upgrade and start betting harder. Start betting smarter, not harder. Okay, so let's quickly, before we get to the picks on the day, let's talk about our friends at Omaha Steaks and their 50% off sale that's going on right now at Omaha Steaks. You guys can use the promo code JUICE at checkout. That will save you an additional $30 off the perfectly aged and tender steaks. Got a couple of them upstairs in my freezer at the moment. Burgers, chicken, desserts. It's all there right in time for the Final Four. As you guys go into it, as you guys are going to wind up having a chance to grill out. Hopefully it's warmer where you are. I mean, my gosh, it's been so cold here in Las Vegas. It's bizarre how cold it's been. It's unlike anything I've ever seen in my 7 years of living here. But hopefully you guys are getting some nice warm weather. You can get out there on the grill and get going here. You know, obviously we got opening day on March the 30th coming up on Friday. So good stuff. Use that promo code JUICE at checkout, omahasteaks.com. JUICE at checkout. Save an additional 30% off when you shop the semi-annual sale going on today. Minimum order may be required at omahasteaks.com. All right, so two games in the NHL that I want to talk about. First is Toronto and Florida, and these are two teams that are just kind of crazy when they play. Toronto very well could beat Tampa when they play in the first round. I'm not in love with what I've seen at Tampa recently, but Florida is 7-2-1 to the over their last 10 games on the road, 7-2-1 to the over overall. You have Toronto, who's 7-2-1 over their last 10 at home. Over the last 10 overall, rather. 5-3-2 at home to the over. And I just think the way that these teams are playing, and not that they're trying to send each other messages, but it's interesting when you look at the way that Florida's playing and how wide open they are. And Bobrovsky's not been good. I mean, let's be frank here. If you look at the way these games are being played, 9, 14, 6, 7, 9, 7, 7, 8, 7, 7 goals being scored. They've lost 4 games in a row, losing to the Senators 5-2. We bet the over and hit that on the last. I mean, it's 7 minus 105. I don't know how you don't. It's just kind of a blind bet at the moment until the Panthers figure it out defensively. It's bad. I mean, they've given up 6, 6, 4, and 5 over their last 4 games. Bobrovsky's been not good, like I mentioned. Toronto is a team that, they can give them up and they can score. They're not outstanding. First game, 9 goals. Second game, 8 goals between these two teams. 5-4 win for the Maple Leafs. 6-2 win for the Maple Leafs. I like the Maple Leafs to win this game. The Panthers are bad on the road, 15, 19, and 3, but it could be 4-3. Maple Leafs are 25, 7, and 5 at home. It looks like it's going to be Samsonov in net, so he'll give up 2 or 3 goals, and then we'll see how many goals Bobrovsky gives up here. Minus 105, good push potential, 7 goals. We're going over 7, minus 105 for the Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs. We saw FanDuel for the last game with Ottawa in Florida. We saw them go to 7.5. Wouldn't stun me if they went to 7.5 on this game too, just given the way Florida's playing and the way that Toronto is playing. 1.05 units down, over 7 goals for Toronto and for the Florida Panthers. All right, so I've gone back and forth on this Wild versus Avalanche game. This is going to be a playoff game, all right? So if you like betting no goals in the first 10 minutes. Both these teams are on a 4-game streak of no goals in the first 10 minutes. It's plus 125 on DraftKings. These teams are also really good at under first period 1.5 goals. Okay, Minnesota is still the best team in all of NHL, but they're 5-5 over their last 10. Here's the problem. The Wild are 5-5 on the road for a total, but they're 4-1 to the over their last 5 games. I'm really nervous about if it is Marc-Andre Fleury. It looks like it's going to be Gustafsson, okay, and that's better if it is. But I'm really concerned about the way that the Wild have been playing, and I don't think I can get involved officially. I'll do it personally with the gift in under 1.5 goals in the first period, but it's going to be a white-knuckle ride. It's not going to be comfortable. I'm not entirely confident on it. I don't want to jump in and be like, yeah, go ahead and take a shot at this and bet this. It's on TNT, and this is a huge game between these two teams in the Western Conference. The first game was 6-3 Colorado back in October. The second game was 3-2 Colorado, both games in Minnesota, on the 15th of February. But you look at the way that the Wild have been playing. They've been scoring, okay? At home, they've been okay. On the road, 5-4 loss to Philadelphia on the road in their last road game. They lost to Jersey. They beat Jersey 2-1. They've won 4 of 5. Avalanche have scored 5, 4, 3, 2, and 5 over their last 5 games. On the road at Anaheim, they won 5-1. At Arizona, they won a shootout 4-3. At home against Arizona, they won 3-1. Against Pittsburgh, 5-2, 5-0. I've gone back and forth on this, and I want to bet unders in this game. Something is screaming at me to say bet under 6, take the push potential. It's a playoff game. It's not going to go over. This game's not going to go over. I'm going to take the under, okay? But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not jumping up and down about it. It's going to scare me. And, it feels like a 3-2 game, okay? How we get to 3-2, I don't really know, to be quite honest. But we're going to get starting goaltenders, most likely. Gustafsson's been better than Marc-Andre Fleury. I personally believe he is the starting goaltender for the postseason. He has a road goals against average of 2. Has he played Colorado this year? He has. Yes, he faced them. He gave up 5 goals when he played Colorado. That was not good, so he wasn't good. 0-1 with a 5. We gave up 5 in that first matchup. It was Gustafsson. Maybe it's Marc-Andre Fleury. They both kind of are all, not the same, but they're similar with the way that they play. I don't know. This is going to be such a fun game to watch. Playoff hockey screams unders. Avalanche, the way they play defensively at home, screams unders. The Avalanche are 7-3 to the under at home over their last 10 games. They're 20-16-1 to the under at home. I think the Avalanche will dictate tempo. Not sure the Wild score all that much, so the Wild, I think, will go into their shell and go back to their defensive, how they want to play. Could be a 3-1 type final, 3-2 type final. I'm going to play the under 6. I'm not saying it could very well. This could push as well. If you want to play the over just in case for an open net or something, you can do that. But it's minus 120 to the under 6 goals. Wild, Avalanche, minus 120, 1.2 units down on that. But again, no goal in the first 10 minutes. I don't mind that. That's plus 125 at DraftKings. And under 1.5 goals in the first period. That's plus 105. I'll be involved in those things as well. This game might blow up in my face. I might completely get every one of these picks wrong. Like this game, I might be dead wrong. But big game, playoff hockey. 43-22-9 Minnesota. They're 19-11-6 on the road. Colorado was 44-23-6 overall. 20-12-5 at home. In some level, something's got to give here. Huge game in the Western Conference. Let's see if this game is tight and stays under. Over 7, under 6. 2 hockey games, 2 plays and totals for us here today on a Wednesday. I'll talk to you in the Discord channel. NBA props, NBA player props will be in there. Plus, we'll talk a little bit about what's happening with the Timberwolves in their game on the road against the Suns with Kevin Durant coming back Just can't bet that without Kevin Durant. Seeing him play 27 minutes the first time he came back, but in Lakers against the Bulls, Lakers lost to the Bulls by 10. Revenge game potentially, but just can't bet it in game. We'll bet it, or just can't bet it pre-game. We'll bet it in game coming up. 2 player props still to come though in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat, or the link is underneath me to get involved with the Discord channel. I'll talk to you during the games coming up later on tonight. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter @SportsTalkMatt. Each and every morning, it is the Daily Juice Podcast being brought to you by BetMGM.